Welcome back to Project Watch. This is RP. Now, today I'm going to be talking about the word reputation. You see, the story that is now the hot topic of the day. Very troubling story. 19-year-old young woman. She's saying that the police them, or a police woman, hold her and cut off her locks. Now, you don't need to be an astrophysicist. You don't need to be a mechanical engineer to see the problem with that story. Meaning, if police hold people and cut off locks against them will, it's fair enough to say even the most LIQ Jamaican would see why that is extremely troubling. But reputation. The definition of reputation is, and I quote, the beliefs or opinions that are generally held about someone or something. End quote. The reputation of the JCF make cases like this, stories like this, go far and wide. Because throughout its entire existence, even if you go back 30, 40, 50 years ago, especially them time then, the JCF has earned a reputation that it still cannot shake. You see, I generally don't cover these type of stories because, especially in the first 24, 48 hours, because at that point they are highly emotionally charged. At that point, nobody not have the time for no reasoning, no logic, no facts. People are just venting. But I'm going to talk about not just the case itself, because I don't know what go on. I don't have the inside information. Nobody from the PIA say, no, I saw it go at this something. All the so far is what the young lady say. I'm going to briefly touch on it. But I'm telling about reputation. The reason why you're going to see a lot of people, especially real Rastafarians, keywords real, because Jamaica is currently faced with a rent-a-dread epidemic. It's a fake activist, but you still have real Rastaman out there. The reason why a lot of real Rastaman get charged up when stories like this touch, when stories like this bust out, the reason why they get worked up, they get heated, is because they get flashbacks of a time when this was normal. There was a time when police used to hold man and cut out them locks. So you see, especially the man them might come from them era or that era, when them hear this, trust me, them blood start bubble. So when the story come out and I went to the Gleaner, but the Gleaner have the full interview, well, the girl telling her story and what happened. And as I listened to it, a couple things come to mind. So before I go any further, as I said, I'm going to deal with them highly emotional cases. But since we are talking about reputation, JCF reputation, and why Rastaman we get upset when they hear stories like this, let me just make it clear where I stand on this issue. If I saw it go, exactly how she described it, then lawsuit is not enough. Because people are saying, yeah man, lawsuit make money. Let me explain something to people at Jamaica. Police not pay lawsuit money. No police officer not paying lawsuit money. Taxpayers pay lawsuit money. So are you are paid? That's like bragging to Smaddy Bridge you're light. This type of foolish action don't hurt police pocket or even government pocket. It hurt taxpayers pocket. That's who I pay any kind of lawsuit. The next thing, why I say lawsuit not enough. The police woman who is accused of this, if I saw it go, she have to leave the force. She has to be forced out of the force. There's no two ways about it. This is what the well-educated folks them call an egregious act. There's no go up and look at suspension and then come back and then no. If this career is over, again, if it go exactly how she describe it, because this is an extraordinary story. Sure, there was a time when this was normal, but in recent memory, I can't think of a similar case. A matter of fact, even the most despised 87s, even the 87s where police hate like poison, them hate police hate them. Two of them want to get rid of that. The one them were lax, the one them were ras, whether them are real ras or is just style, police now hold them and cut off them here. Even the most hardened criminals, police now hold them and cut off them here. No, we are talking in this generation. And the JCF now start do this against a 19-year-old female. This is an extraordinary story. I'm so happy for years that Indicom involved, because you know the police have them own investigating team. But times like this, you know, want police investigate police. Now that's where the Indicom is involved. Excellent, because Indicom has no incentive or no track record of trying to protect police image. So that is great news. We have somebody, right, who are going to do the work, do the investigation, and we can hear actually go on, separate from what the police are going to say. But it's still an extraordinary story. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to say what I always say. It just not add up. The story is so mind-blowing, because you know we were talking about it on Patreon. The story is so mind-blowing, it just not add up to me. A police woman in 2021, in the age of social media, in the age of anybody can take our phone and say, this happened to me and it go viral. Hold somebody and cut out them locks against their will. It's an extraordinary story. Now, when I was listening to the young lady speak, I was hoping that I guess it's a gleaner, the people who did the interview would step in every now and then, because that's how I know journalism works. You've never seen any established media house anywhere in the world just have somebody and them just talk and ain't just done. At certain points, you must interject. Because couple points, I'm talking to the phone. I'm looking at my phone and me I talk to the phone. Right? Because now I forget to the bottom of this, we need to know. Right? I want to go on at certain points. For example, right, the whole how she reach her jail, me gone straight to the airport. Because at the airport, I want trouble me. The first question I need to ask is, so, when you mention that the police officer call you and say, come and then she try cut your ear, but then the scissors dull, and then she go for another. Was there some kind of tussle? What was there some kind of, because I'm assuming the average person, even picking and sit down and make it just cut out the ear, picking and fight you. And was there some kind of resistance? Was there some kind of tussling? What go on there? So did you just stand there and say, okay, go for your next? Alright, me go just make it go for, even though I say I attempt one time I ain't feel. Go for your second one. Right. And cut off me and just stand up or so. Was there a tussle? And if was there resistance? And if there was no resistance, was it because they were under duress? Was there a police officer with a weapon on you who make it just, alright, me just slow it, because I don't want to lose my life? What happened there, so? You see, every woman me know very fussy about them ear. Forget about cutting it off. Just touching a woman ear, especially a woman who don't know you and like you, might be some see. Just reflex alone, it makes you fling her hand in your face. Just reflex alone. And this police woman got a chance to not just use a dull scissors, but go for a sharper scissors. And the station no tumble down. That's the part where I was like, I wish the journalist would ask the question there. What happened in the hair cutting off process? Right. Because the only way there'd be no resistance. police or no police, we don't know woman forced about them here, is if she was under duress. Somebody stand up there, or somebody hold her and then behind her back, or somebody stand up there with a rifle upon her. That part was extraordinary to me. And very good thing, I was just hoping the journalists would just step in. Because this is how people who don't know what going on get a better understanding of the situation. Think about it. If you own a picnic come through the door and tell you one story, and the story is so extraordinary, you ask the picnic question, right? You ask your mother question, you ask your brother question, you say, then hold on, then this happen. When this happen? So where did do when this happen? I mean, I don't know, maybe that's me. But you see, the thing with stories like this, they usually get hijacked. Because you see, once the celebrity crowd jump in, once the big following and the big pages them jump in and the narrative is set, that it is done. Understand that JCF has already lost this PR war. Right. Even if them come back with the most conclusive piece of evidence, right, it go completely different in the matter. They've lost, right, the PR war. The damage is done. Times like this, nobody in business about no facts, right? The damage is done. No matter what them present, people are gonna go, oh, alright, and then just fade away and move on. It won't be the same, right, energy put into, oh well, it's been cleared up. It simply will not happen. Remember, times like this, you see your favorite celebrities who normally would tell us, well, you know, I don't like to get involved in certain things. When 7-month-old, 4-year-old, 10-year-old, oh, I don't like to get myself in. But when them see an opportunity, turn up like this, they simply will not, right, make it pass by. Times like this, they all love the people, stand for the people, and stand for this and stand for that. I mean, we don't believe most of them. Right? There are some genuine ones out there, but we don't believe most of them. Right? I mean, we already start to see people stand up beside the young lady, proclaiming to be fighting for her. Right? We already see the ambulance chaser, right, gone upon the case. So you know it got already. JCF already take the damage. I'm going to take that one up on the chin. No matter what them come back with, the damage is done. But when people ask me, the main reason I did this video is because I was speaking to someone on Patreon and asked me, Sir P, oh, because them listen to a few individuals, all Rastafarians, and I said, why Sir P? Man, people ain't charge it up. Right? So charge it up and them don't really know. You have to understand. This left a bad taste in enough people's mouth because of the history of police and especially Rasta in Jamaica. Rasta in Jamaica, but through hell and powder house from police. So this is a straight flashback. It'll carry some people, especially the older Rasta them, it'll carry them back to some days, right, when Jamaica was a completely. It's not like, I say Jamaica is a place now where you'll see Rasta doctor, Rasta teacher, Rasta politician, right? You'll see. Them days there, having locks on your head was the equivalent of saying, that was the equivalent of putting a sign where say, alienate me from society. That's how Rasta. See, Rasta thing kind of cool now, Rasta image cool now. Them time there, the man them who put in the suffering, right, sake of them Rasta image and them Rasta lifestyle. Them man they still remember certain things. So you have to understand, it's a similar situation to in an Uncle Sam place with police. And when they hear about, you know, for example, an individual who's, you know, quote unquote African American, lose them life at the hands of the police, it trigger people, right? People start take to the streets before them even hear what go on. Why? Because reputation, because historical context. Because people have seen the police do so much wrongdoings to African Americans throughout the years that it's set in the people in mind say, I just so Right? And that does that police do to African Americans. So even if an instance come up where the police them in the right, them still in the wrong because their reputation stink. And that I reach JCF now. Reputation, when you go back through the pages of time, reputation, especially when it comes on to Rasta thing, the reputation stink. So even if no matter how extraordinary the story, people are going to say, well, there is a precedence, so I work with it. I'm telling all the time to JCF need to fix the not just them image, because the image are one thing, but they need to actually focus on working, how them deal with people, all them things there. Know them start to release it. Remember one time, police never used to release a statement. One time, once a story go out to police, they never even used to address it. That was, them was like, you know what, it's almost like they must say whatever. Now you notice when things come out, then you see police release a statement and say, actually, this is what happened. Maybe if you did that for the last 20-30 years, then reputation are better. But for years, them sit back and then they say nothing, maybe because it was true. And then the reputation come like a sewer. So enough people when them hear this, them are going to say, you know what, even though me not actually know him, it can go so because of JCF. And that's going on with police right now. Reputation is important. Precedence is important. So in the coming days, bear in mind the next 2-3 days, the people them who, are getting them likes and are getting them quotes and are getting them retweets, them are going to fade away. Right, but I'm going to keep an eye on this because I love to see how this one turn out. I love to know really going. As I say, if it go exactly where we are here from this young lady, right, one, that policewoman have to go. No questions asked. And two, even a matter of fact, not even just the policewoman, even our superiors at the station, I gotta have questions to answer. Right, because if something like that happen, I imagine the young lady would have make it known at the station, said that happen, and if them not immediately deal with that policewoman, or them try to cover up, and then they come out say it really goes so, and they try to cover up, then even the superiors them have to go. And this is the thing which, again, assuming, say exactly how she described it, that's how it go. Because I've seen so many of these cases come out, people get worked up, get emotional, and later on it turn out, oh, this did happen. So, I don't know about nobody else, but I really want to hear the response to them are coming. Right? Because I say, them are going to come good. It's still mind blowing, as I say, even the worstest of criminals, the most hardened criminals. I talk about, because them charge her for disorderly conduct or whatever, man will have multiple dopes on them name. We have locks, gas station, and the whole man cut off in here. I'm going to do this to a 19-year-old. I mean, the story is extraordinary, as I say. But hopefully, we hear more. Right? Or can have a better picture of what played out in Clarendon. Anyway, Patreon Squad, big up on yourself. PIA, you don't know, more life. Vulture Squad, stay circling. Bless.